Working around aircraft. When working around aircraft, it is essential that you are aware of the various parts and their significance. Anti-collision lights. These are normally located on the top and the underside of the aircraft fuselage. They are red in colour and flash whenever an aircraft has its engines running or is about to start its engines. Never ever attempt to approach an aircraft whose anti-collision lights are either illuminated or flashing. Navigation lights. These are located on the aircraft wingtips. Green for right or starboard, and red for left or port, and white on the rear.
Taxi lights. These are normally located on the landing gear or in the wings. These are like bright headlamps on full beam and indicate an aircraft is moving. If they become suddenly illuminated, this would indicate it's about to apply power and start to taxi.
Strobe lights. High intensity white flashing lights on the wingtips and tail. Auxiliary Power Unit, APU. An onboard means of supplying power to an aircraft, usually a small engine located at the rear of the aircraft. These can be very noisy. There are several other dangers when working around aircraft. Jet engines. These are a significant hazard on the apron. The two main hazards associated with jet engines are inlet suction and jet blast. Never walk or drive immediately behind an aircraft whose engines are running. And be mindful of engine ingestion areas, which can vary depending on which particular type of engine the aircraft is using. Approaching an aircraft. Do not approach an aircraft until it has stopped, until the wheels have been chocked, the engines have run down, and the anti-collision lights have gone out. Propellers. Aircraft propellers have the potential to cause many serious accidents, whether they're rotating or not. It's worth bearing in mind that a propeller takes a long time to stop rotating well after the engine has been shut down. Don't take any risks. And be especially careful when working in the vicinity of an aircraft propeller in windy conditions. Helicopters. Never drive inside or under the rotor discs, whether they're turning or not, and always ensure that you stay well clear from the tail rotor. Only approach a helicopter when it's absolutely necessary, and then ensure that the rotors have stopped and that the anti-collision lights located here and on the top there have completely gone out. Always ensure that you get the pilot's permission before approaching the helicopter. Be aware of the wash and downdraft a helicopter may create. Never approach a helicopter from the rear with the tail rotors running, and be aware of the blade droop and sail. When the aircraft is being refueled, it's important that the relevant safety measures are met. The fueling zone is an area which extends radially from the fueling point, the fueling vents and the fueling vehicle. The distance may vary dependent on your airport. The fuel vent points are located underneath the aircraft wing, and this is where the potentially explosive fuel vapor is expelled. Instrument sensors and hot and cold surfaces are within reach on the aircraft fuselage, and absolute care must be taken at all times. Any damage to an aircraft must be reported immediately. The main precautions that you need to be aware of are: don't obstruct the fuel bowser, and always keep an exit route clear in case of an emergency. Don't obstruct the emergency exit points from occupied parts of the aircraft whilst the aircraft is being refueled. No maintenance work may be carried out in the fueling zone. Ground power units should not be connected or disconnected during the fueling process. No mobile phones or radios should be used within the fueling zone of an aircraft unless they are intrinsically safe. Make sure that all spillages are cleared up immediately. If you damage or witness damage to an aircraft, you must report it immediately to the aircraft engineer, your supervisor, and to the Airfield Operations Department. Remember, reduce accidents and we all win. To operate and/or drive Airside, you'll require an Airside Operations Permit and an Airside Driving Permit. You'll also have to successfully complete additional training before you'll be issued with an ADP. Before moving any vehicle, carry out a few simple checks, including lights, brakes, and the radio. No seat equals no ride. Riding on Airside vehicles is only permitted where the vehicle is designed to carry passengers and has proper seats fitted in accordance with the conditions of use regulations. The airport monitor driving standards around the airfield and will take action against any driver who breaches the driving regulations. This may involve the removal of your driving permit. Operators to be aware of vehicle height and width and ensure that mobile steps are lowered before moving any vehicle. Damage to aircraft and equipment can have serious consequences. Drivers must not exceed the airport speed limits. It may vary at different airports. You should avoid reversing if at all possible, but where absolutely necessary, then a banksman must be used. When operating in high winds, don't leave items unsecured which may blow away. Close all vehicle doors and don't allow FOD to be blown from the vehicle. Secure all items of clothing, including hats. During periods of snow and ice, inform your supervisor of any areas that require clearing or treating with de-icer. Don't spill anything that may freeze. And remember that some road markings may become obscured. Only use the de-icing materials that are supplied by your employer. Don't use salt. Be aware of airport low visibility operations and changes that occur at night, from being blinded by aircraft lights to difficulties of lots of flashing lights and the loss of some road markings. FOD stands for Foreign Object Debris. It's another word for litter, or anything left where it shouldn't be that has the potential to cause damage. FOD is a major hazard associated with operations airside. Basically, FOD is anything that can be sucked into an engine or blown by an aircraft engine, which then has the potential to either damage equipment or a vehicle. Like a nail in a tyre. Once you've completed your tasks airside, make sure that you clear away any FOD that you've either found or created. And make sure that you contact airport operations if you have any FOD problems that you can't deal with immediately. Remember, FOD problems are everyone's responsibility, not just the airport authority. And FOD which is landside today can very easily become FOD which is airside tomorrow. There are emergency points located around the airport. and you should familiarise yourself with their location and the equipment that's located there. They may differ from airport to airport. The telephones in the emergency contact points may be directly linked to the airport exchange emergency number, and this will be clearly shown. If you require assistance or see an accident, contact the emergency services and ensure an access route is kept clear for the emergency vehicles. If you don't have access to an emergency point phone, then call 999. So, as you can see from this DVD, the airport can be a hazardous environment, and the safety of yourselves and that of your work colleagues can only be maintained by your constant vigilance. We all have our part to play. Safety is no accident. Thank you.